And welcome back to another episode of Dogs on the Couch, where everybody's allowed to have an opinion. It does not matter if you play the game, you were watching. So you're allowed to have an opinion as well. Please, by all means, like, comment, subscribe. Please hit the subscribe button. Please, it's free. It doesn't cost you a thing. Just hit the subscribe button. Just press the button, click the button, and then possibly hit the like button if you kind of feel some of what I'm saying. Go ahead, hit the like button too. But please, by all means, it's free of charge. Really helps out, and I appreciate it. This is going to be really quick compared to what normally goes on this platform, but I just don't feel the need to get extremely all off in depth and all this other stuff like everybody else is doing. The restructuring of Myles Garrett's contract. Two things. That's one of them. And the disrespect to Todd Monken. Okay? Those are two things we want to get into. First and foremost, we restructured Myles Garrett's contract, and the very first thing that's on somebody's mind is, we trade Myles Garrett, trade Myles Garrett, trade Myles Garrett, trade Myles Garrett. This is the problem with Cleveland Browns media, local media, and a large portion of the fan base, especially the older guard of the fan base. Because it's like the older guard, and it's a little bit off subject, but it's like the older guard feels like you have to have a certain mentality to be a Browns fan. In order to be a real Browns fan, you can't like Shedeur Sanders, you can't like Andrew Berry, or you can't like Todd Monken, and you feel like we should have kept Kevin Stefanski because he was the best coach that we had since '99. He got us to the playoffs, and that's the only time we've been in the playoffs in '99. We'll never get another coach better than Stefanski. I'm tired of it. Like, seriously. And then not only that, it's like, for the old guard, the big point about it is, you didn't win. You guys been losers all this time. You've been losers. So when you look at people who are trying to do something different and see if that might manufacture some wins, you want to be like, well, no, that's not going to work. We have to do what we've been doing because that's the only thing that's going to work. And it hasn't worked since '99. And the only time that it almost looked like it was working was when you start doing different stuff. Like when you brought Dorsey in, you start doing different stuff. You start doing different things. Okay, you started acquiring certain levels of talent. Okay, you go out and get a Kareem Hunt. You know what I'm saying? You get a Jarvis Landry. You get an Odell Beckham. You know what I mean? Like, these types of players and names we hadn't seen in Cleveland. We hadn't seen them here. Only thing that we had was people that we kind of manufactured here, like a Josh Gordon, if you will. You know what I'm saying? But he could, unfortunately, he was in the league at the wrong time, man. He had personal issues, and that got the best of him. You know what I'm saying? And detoured his career, man. We used to get people like Jeff Garcia, Jason Camo, freaking Jake Delhomme. Like, them the people we used to get, and it never worked. Okay, didn't start working until we got Dorsey in here. Dorsey, like, look here, I'm about to go get some football players. I'm not dealing with all this crap. We're going to get some real football players. Here's the problem with Cleveland, though. When they get real football players, they don't know how to treat them. It's like they don't know how to treat stars. They don't know how to do it. The only star that Cleveland has ever known how to treat was LeBron James. That's it. It's the only star that they've ever known how to treat was LeBron James. And if we just being respectful, LeBron ain't really care about Cleveland all like that. LeBron let you know all the time he is a kid from Akron, not Cleveland. And from the era that LeBron grew up in, which I'm part of that era, Akron and Cleveland didn't get along. Like, we weren't best of friends. Like, we weren't buddies. Like, we didn't really rock with each other all like that. Like, Cleveland used to kind of look at Akron a little funny, like they was behind in the times, and you know what I mean? And Akron kind of used to look at Cleveland like, well, we don't really care what y'all think about us. Like, we do our own thing over here. So, you know, when you get real stars here in Cleveland, it's like for some reason we don't know how to treat them. We don't know what we're supposed to do. You know what I'm saying? That's why a person like Jose Ramirez is just an absolute blessing. Okay, the fact this is a guy willing to take less money and all sorts of crap just because he want to stay in Cleveland, just because his family in Cleveland, he like being in Cleveland. It's hard to find somebody that like being in Cleveland and don't want to leave. Okay, so when you got somebody like Myles Garrett, I would be thinking, me personally, I'd be doing everything like the way that y'all treated LeBron and kissed LeBron butt after he told everybody go jump in the lake, literally. Said called us all brokies. Said we should all go jump in the lake. You know what I'm saying? Dipped out on everybody, the decision, all this other crap. We still kissed his butt. Still. But you mean tell me Myles Garrett, let's trade. Nobody ever talked about trading LeBron. You know what I'm saying? That's stupid. Why would you trade LeBron? Like, why would you do that? Okay? Same thing with Myles Garrett. I'm sorry, man. Like, the way Dallas turned up when they traded Luka, like they was about ready to burn the city down. Okay, they was about ready to burn the city down. They had to get rid of the GM. They talk about Mark Cuban getting the team back because they like Mark Cuban would have never did this to us. They appreciated their talent. They appreciated their star. For some reason, we just, with Myles Garrett, I don't know. It's like we just throw him to the wayside. We'll get some picks for him. Let's trade him out here and get the picks. Hey, man, respectfully, Myles Garrett is the only reason, Myles Garrett and Shedeur Sanders. Those were the only reasons that anybody watched the Browns football game last year. Was Myles Garrett chasing the sack record and everybody trying to see if Shedeur was being sabotaged or not. Nobody was watching the Browns to watch the Browns. Like, oh, yeah, this is going to be a good football game. Nobody tuned in for that. They tuned in to see if Myles Garrett was about to break that sack record. And they tuned in to see if Shedeur was about to be throwing touchdowns or interceptions. So they get on the internet and talk crazy about him one way or another. So respectfully, number one, observe that and then appreciate it. Appreciate the fact that you have something on your team that makes people want to watch. That's for starters, okay? Second, look at how great he is as a player. Why would you want to trade him for picks when what we know about picks is, and this ain't just Andrew Berry. This is way before Andrew Berry. This day back when we picked Tim Couch over Donovan McNabb. The picks, we ain't really made good picks, okay? We drafted Justin Gilbert. You anybody remember him? No, I bet you don't, okay? But we drafted him. I think it was in the top 10, too, we drafted Buddy. He was terrible. Remember Corey Coleman? I wanted Will Fuller that year. I mean, they both ended up fizzling out. But at least when Will Fuller was healthy, he was actually good. Corey Coleman couldn't stay healthy, and when he was healthy, he couldn't catch the ball. Like, these are the kinds of people that we draft, Johnny Manziel. These are the people that we draft. So why would we trade a surefire sack record holder for picks that we probably going to mess up anyway? Why would we do that? Not only that, but everybody, they want to analyze Andrew Berry and what he's saying. And, look at that. Oh, look at what he said to Mary Kay Cabot right there. The tone in his voice sounds like he's going to trade Myles Garrett. Hey, man. When Myles Garrett asked for the trade and said, hey, look, ain't nothing I can do to come back. I want to win. I don't want the money. I don't want none of this. I want to win. I want out. Clearly, Andrew Berry was able to come to him with some form of a plan or something along with the money to make him change his mind. Now, everybody back then was like, oh, well, I think it's the plan at quarterback. You need to show Myles Garrett a true plan at quarterback in order to get him to want to stay here because it's all about the quarterback. And what I was saying is, y'all not Myles Garrett, so how can you be speaking for him? Just because you care so much about quarterback, that don't mean that he cares so much about quarterback. Y'all want to say that he didn't like Deshaun Watson. I'm like, well, we don't know that. We don't know that. The man ain't came out and said, I don't like Deshaun Watson. Get him out of here. The man ain't said that. So how do you know? And then what I was saying, I was like, how y'all know it ain't got to do with Kevin Stefanski? What if he don't like Stefanski? Was what I used to say. I was like, what if he don't like Stefanski? Y'all keep talking about he don't like Deshaun Watson and the quarterback and him wanting to be here. All got to do with the quarterback. I'm like, what if he don't like the coach? What if he don't like him? That could be a possibility because the defense is good. It's the offense that's trash. Who's in charge of the offense? The coach. So I was thinking, well, maybe he might not like Kevin Stefanski. And maybe Andrew Berry slid over to him like, hey, check this out. Hey, yo, I know you don't like Stefanski and you really can't say nothing, but I've been talking with Haslam. If Stefanski don't win next year, he probably going to be out of here anyway. Then we could look at getting, see what's up with these quarterbacks, see about getting a quarterback because Stefanski don't like to work with certain quarterbacks. We know. So just be patient and we might get Buddy up out of here and then get somebody else in here to run the offense and then boom, it'll look a whole lot better, I promise you. But you got to just tough this year out. Because we got to see what Stefanski going to do. Jimmy said he want to see what Stefanski going to do. If Stefanski can make it work, we're going to give him his quarterback. Okay, he was talking about Dylan Gabriel. He really liked him, so I don't know. But we're going to see. We're going to give him everything he wants. And then I'm going to pick a quarterback, too. I think I'm looking at Shador, but I ain't going to say that. That could have been the conversation that they had. And Myles Garrett could have been like, all right, well, you know what? Shit. If he, if next year, if look here, if Buddy get to losing this year and it look as bad as it looked last year and y'all telling me y'all going to get him up out of here, all right, where the pen at? I'll sign. And I'm getting the most money, too, for right now. Okay, I'll sign. Where the pen at? And make sure we put the no trade clause in there so that way when it come down the line, if I do end up feeling like I want to get traded again, I'm only going where I want to go. And we just trade me to where we trade me to the Saskatchewan Salamanders. I don't want to go play for them. If I'm getting traded somewhere, I want to go play where I want to play at. So now we can sign. Where the paper at? Why wouldn't you want to have a Myles Garrett on your team? Stop talking about trading him away. And secondly, leave Todd Monken alone. We already talking about, this the problem with Cleveland media. Oh, he's one and done. Oh, you can't believe that this guy is going to be the long-term answer here because, what are we honestly doing at quarterback? Well, you can't think that this guy, does he really think he's going to be able to resurrect Deshaun Watson's career? Oh my God, it's Deshaun Watson. We don't ever want to see Deshaun Watson again. You know who else we don't want to see no more? Dylan Gabriel. We don't want to see Buddy no more neither. Okay, so you can talk all this mess you want to talk about Deshaun Watson. But Deshaun Watson was the only quarterback that looked trash up under Kevin Stefanski's watch. Joe Flacco was looking like hot garbage. Baker Mayfield was looking like trash towards the end before he left from here. All of these quarterbacks look like trash up under Kevin Stefanski. They all look like hot garbage. So all the people, the Quincy Carriers of the world and all the other fools that just want to write him off. Oh, well, look at the injuries he's had. He's had the Achilles. He's had the shoulder. But then you want to talk about getting Kirk Cousins, who done had an Achilles injury. Like, I don't understand. And he's older than Deshaun Watson. So if we talking about injuries affecting Deshaun Watson, you don't think injuries affected Kirk Cousins at all? Even just a little bit? Just slightly? Stefanski ain't even want Kirk Cousins over there, and that's supposed to be his dude. That was one of the reasons we kept talking about Kirk Cousins so much, because we had Kevin Stefanski. We wanted to pair them up together. Stefanski ain't even want him over there in Atlanta. He said, no, I'm going to go with Michael Penix and Tua Tagovailoa. That's what I'm going with. I don't want Kirk Cousins. That's what he said, and that's supposed to be his man's. So why we want him if the dude that's supposed to be his man don't even want him? What are we talking about him for? Or the Ty Simpson. A dude that got benched in the college football playoff run. He got benched. He got put on the bench in college. And the reason he ain't go back is probably because Alabama told him, hey, yeah, man, you might want to go and get in the draft because you ain't starting next year. We're going to go with Buddy. We're going to go with him. The one that we benched, the one that we put you on the bench for. We're going to go with him. So just go ahead and get in the draft, bro. It really ain't too many. The Dante Moore going back to school. So you might be able to finesse you a first round. Go ahead and get out there. But that's a better option than Deshaun Watson. I don't care how many injuries Deshaun Watson had. First of all, this is the new age to act like people can't come back from injuries no more. We just watched Jason Tatum come back. He wasn't supposed to be playing basketball till next year. Buddy already back on the court and looked just as good as he looked before. Russell Westbrook then had a bunch of knee injuries and all this other torn, whatever you want to get, and he's still playing. He's still out there hooping. He can still dunk on people to this day. So I don't know. I have to actually see it first before I just rule somebody out. Let me see it first. And I want to see it without Kevin Stefanski. Because the one thing that's notable about Kevin Stefanski, he has not evolved and does not want to evolve. So, when you're trying to force a quarterback into this offense that he don't like and is also not working, why would he look good? Why would Deshaun Watson look good in an offense that he don't want, and also an offense that whether he was running it or not is just flat out terrible? It's garbage. So the fact that we was so gung-ho on giving Stefanski year after year after year after year, even when he was low-key kind of underachieving, and we gave him year after year after year. Why are we in such a rush to get Todd Monken out of here? Buddy ain't coached the first preseason game yet. And y'all already predicting that he'll be a one and done, and that no, he's not the long-term answer, and bobbity skip. Why? Is it because you sad that Kevin is gone? Is that it? Is it because you hate the fact that Todd Monken is willing to work with the quarterbacks that you have? And you just don't want to see Shedeur. You don't want to see Deshaun Watson. And it just upsets you that Todd Monken could actually think that he might be able to get something out of these guys. I think that's all it is. Because what else has Todd Monken, what has he done to just say, oh yeah, no, this guy's going to be out of here? What? How? How are we coming to that determination so quick? We ain't even seen Buddy in OTAs yet. The only thing we done saw is him meet and greet players. And respectfully, the way he meets and greets players seems to be so much better than what Stefanski did. If we look at the clip with him meeting Shedeur, the clip that we look at of him meeting the new tight end, I think, is it Jake Stoll or something like that? The new tight end that we got supposed to be a nice blocker, you know what I'm saying? Not necessarily pass catcher, but we don't really need that because we got Harold Fanning Jr. So I like the fact that we got a more blocking-centric, tight end. Like, these are the, and then not only that, the way Quinshon Judkins talked about when he met Todd Monken versus what he had with Stefanski, and how he felt like Monken was a lot more relatable as opposed to Stefanski being a mute. Like he don't know how to say that, he can't talk to you. He real stoic. You know what I'm saying? For me, that's the only thing Buddy done did so far. And if you ask me, it seems like the players are like more excited than they were in the past. So that's the only thing we got to go off of right now. And for all of the Daryl Writers of the world and these people who so quick to try to push Monken out the door, if he ends up being good, I'm going to need you to eat the crow. I'm going to need you to eat the crow because I'm saving all the clips. If by some chance that heaven and earth is moved and Todd Monken ends up salvaging Deshaun Watson, or he ends up bringing the next level out of a Shedeur Sanders, and then we end up getting, even if we ended up getting 9 wins, we could go 9-8. If you ask me, Todd Monken has done can he be considered for Coach of the Year? Can he be considered for the Coach of the Year? Can he get that award? Okay? Because for me, that would be a huge difference, a huge turnaround. Just to go 9-8. So, when it comes to the Myles Garrett stuff, appreciate what you got. Because Lord knows if you didn't have him, what this team would have been over the course of the past couple years, not having a guy like Myles Garrett. That attracts attention and makes people want to watch the sorry Cleveland Browns. Acknowledge that man's greatness. You should want him to retire as a Brown, because if he does, then that means that that's at least one positive thing that you can have since 99 that people can always point to and look at when they running them highlight films in the Hall of Fame and stuff like that. He gonna be in a Browns uniform. Not you trade him away, he goes somewhere else, be great over there, possibly win a Super Bowl over there. And if I was him, if I did that, I'd try to detach myself from Cleveland. I'd try to erase everything that wasn't me breaking the sack record that one year. I'd try to erase everything else with me in Cleveland. I'd make it seem like I never played there at all. And if I did, it was just that one year that I broke the sack record. The rest of the time, I wasn't there. It was an illusion. Don't retire me with the Browns jersey. Retire me with the team I won the Super Bowl with. That's what I would do. So appreciate the man while he here. Stop trying to hurry up and get him out the door. Okay? Because if you gonna get him out the door, you should have got him out the door when he said that he wanted to leave. Now that he done signed on the dotted line, I'll be like, oh no, you here, buddy. Yeah, you here. Yeah, like it or not, you here. Now go out there and get them sacks. You here. It is what it is. We need to sell these tickets. We need to sell these jerseys. So whether the offense good or not, you going to go out there and get them sacks. So let's go. I'm sorry. It is what it is. And Todd Monken, I don't even think one thing I ain't worried about. I don't think Todd Monken cares nothing about what nobody's saying about it. I don't think he cares. I think the only thing Todd Monken care about is football. We all kind of noticed that when he showed up with the fit he had on day one in the building. But his fit that he had on, the outfit he had on was like, yeah, all I care about is football. And when can I get started? That's it. I'm just here for football. As it should be. Leave Myles Garrett alone. Stop the trade talks, man. Just be happy you got a superstar here. And then give Todd Monken a chance before you want him fired already. You didn't want to fire Stefanski. So stop wanting to fire a guy that ain't even coached his first preseason game yet. Dogs on the couch, signing off. It's crazy.